Hello everyone and welcome back to another update video. And on this update video we're just going to talk about primarily CPI like was released today, August 14th, and how that influences my view on both the crypto market and as well as the stock market. I like to focus primarily just on cryptos and crypto related stocks in this channel, and that's what I intend on doing forever because it's like my favorite topic. But I am going to go over like the S&P and the Nasdaq real quick, just because there's always good opportunities in every market, and just because crypto is my primary market, it does not mean I also look for opportunities in the equities market as well, in the indexes out there. But yeah, so and then I'm going to go over a little bit of I'm just going to do a little umbrella on this video and cover a few things, but primarily it's how CPI influences all these other topics we're going to talk about. So before we get started though, everything in this video is just my own opinion. It is my own general review. The goal here is just for me to express to you guys and for me to document, my unprofessional opinions on everything we're going to talk about, and no means is this financial advice, and I'm not telling anyone to buy, sell, or hold any assets during this video. So, as you guys are aware, because it's almost midnight, August 14th, so you guys already know that CPI came in good. Not great, but it is good. It came aligned with expectations. We have an actual percentage of 2.9. As you guys can see here on investing.com, it's making its way down to the Fed's target rate of 2%. So it is pretty much it's nothing's ever guaranteed until it happens, but it is basically guaranteed that Jerome Powell is going to cut rates mid-September. And here's a little bit more of an official website. Actually, it is an official website. And it says right here as well, 2.9% over the last 12 months. So we are making progress, although, of course, there's a lot of talk. And it is true that a lot of certain categories, topics are being removed, and they're being moved into different statistics that the U.S. government releases to the public. So there is some manipulation going on, and it's just to make things look better than they really are. But that's fine, because really my own biasness is that I just want Fed to cut rates. I want the government to print more money. I want inflation. Even though this hurts a lot of people, I am in the party of people that wants to see inflation. I want to see asset prices inflate. I want to see borrowing be cheap. I want to see companies, take advantage of a lot of different things that these environments offer. So that doesn't sound great, but it does benefit me. And I'm just, I'm being open with you guys. I really don't. I'm not. Hopefully that makes sense. Even though it hurts a lot of people, I want to see money being printed. I want to see, um, inflation out there. As long as you're making money, who cares about inflation? If you beat it, it's fine. You stay up there in the game, and you stay aggressive. That's really all that matters. But I sound like a bad guy right now. I really do, and I see that. But yeah, guys, when it's easy to borrow, companies grow. They invest more in growth assets. Traders make money as long as they're long, and they're happy. That's all that matters. So yeah, it's all about making money. It's just how the economy is. But 2.9 is looking good. We do know that I believe food went up quite a bit. Egg prices went up a lot. Milk went up. So food prices all kind of went up more than would be ideal. And then I believe shelter also went up quite a bit. But either way, overall core CPI is looking good, and we're definitely looking for a either 0.25 or zero point 0.5 rate cut in mid-September. I believe September 18th. I could be wrong, but we do know that uh, the likelihood of either 0.5 or 0.25 happening is going to change dramatically as we get more like U.S. macroeconomic events coming up soon, or reports and announcements. So stay tuned for that as we approach those days. But yeah, Mara was looking to acquire $250 million to buy more Bitcoin. The cool thing about that is that if, and you guys can do your own research on everything I'm saying, but they actually were able to raise 300 million, which is 50 million, of course, more than they were targeting, which is great. Although I don't know how many of that they're actually going to put into Bitcoin. I do know at a minimum, basically 250 million is going towards Bitcoin, but I'm not sure if they're going to do the rest of the 50 million into Bitcoin as well, or they're going to do something. I'm not sure what they're going to do with that, but they did acquire those fundings. Um, More shares were put into the market, but uh, this is good. The more Mara can establish their Bitcoin presence, the more they can grow as a active participant in the Bitcoin mining uh, business. It's good. It's good. It means, besides all the other miners in the U.S. and all the other miners around the world, if they can stay profitable, continue, who cares if their shares are being diluted? I am not a long-term investor on Mara, and I'm going to go over that in a moment on why. Currently, I am not a long-term investor, and my view may change in the future, but I'm going to break that down in a moment. But I am a trader, and as long as we're approaching low interest rate environments where they can borrow a lot easier, where they can where growth companies can take advantage of all of this, and they're, yeah, sure, they're diluting their stock, but they're diluting their shareholders, but sure, it's for the greater of the bigger picture, and a lot of people tend to be blinded or choose, or I'm not sure they're willing to be blind, or they're choosing to, or whatever it is. But yeah, it's not good short term technically if you're someone that's like trying to just, out of hype, just hold on tomorrow because you're hoping it goes up and you're not doing your research. If you're not looking into their balance sheet, and you guys can go to like Seeking Alpha, or you can look at their official website, and you can look at their numbers. There's a lot of other websites you can look at their numbers on, but they're doing great. They're managing debt quite well. They're expanding. They're aggressively spending towards, you know, being able to expand and create partnerships around the world. I believe recently somewhere, I forgot what African country it was, but they were able to assist. I believe it was a mining company in Africa assisting them with being able to obtain better energy. They're, I believe, in Saudi Arabia, and or in the UAE, they have a partnership. They have a share percentage on a mining company there, so they receive Bitcoin from there. They're working on some South American stuff. They're doing great things, and they're helping other companies while they're trying to grow theirs as well. So this is good. Like I don't see why a lot of people are being negative towards them. Like, yeah, if you're willing to you're just buying stock and like hoping it goes up while looking at their numbers, while looking at their valuation, without looking at, like, also just looking at zones, like what structure are they currently in? Is the stock look discounted, or more in a premium price? It's like, I believe they're setting up for a really great future. But until, and I'm going to go over this in a moment, until this one thing changes, uh, I am not a long-term investor until this one thing changes. But I am bullish throughout the rest of this year, and I am bullish um, as long as Bitcoin is still climbing towards the current bull market cycle top, which we're still far ways from reaching that. But either way, MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy. I'm just going over like a more umbrella thing here. Um, I couldn't find the article. It's somewhere, but I believe there was like a. I'm not sure if it was a private investor, if it was like a fund or whatever, but they bought a ton of MicroStrategy stock. They would rather hold on to MicroStrategy for good reason. They're growing very aggressively. They're growing quite well, especially more than Bitcoin is, and I believe they have a long way to go. And now, especially after they halved, a lot of the when some good news happens and excitement kind of goes down and things kind of balance the energy on a stock kind of balances it out. And there's no more hype about a certain specific like topic, and things balance out a little bit more. We can start seeing more clear opportunities, and I'm going to go over that in a little bit as well with MicroStrategy. But they are going very well. They're very, very highly focused on Bitcoin. I believe they have a great future. And in my opinion, they are discounted right now, but we're going to get into that in a moment. So let's go over just some quick, just general view. I'm not trying to go into detail on these because I'm going to leave this for my chart planning videos. There's a playlist for that if you guys want to check it out. But yeah, Bitcoin is, it's consolidating. It's consolidating in a really good area. If you can continue to hold this area, I can see finally working our way towards all-time highs once again. And especially so one more thing, if you guys take a look at I'm gonna do IBIT because the current we started a new daily candle on Bitcoin, I believe 6.5 hours ago. So I won't be able to show you guys that as easily. But Bitcoin did fall when we got our 2.9% inflation or CPI report. Bitcoin did fall, and then I believe yeah, the S&P went up, and then what did I never actually looked at it today at all. But the Qs somewhat stayed flat, but at least they were positive as well. So this could be like, yeah, inflation was exactly on what the expectations were. So there wasn't any great news. There was good news, but there wasn't any bad news either, at least for the most part, right? Except for those specific categories that did go up quite aggressively. Um, it could be like, all right, so what are we looking at for the rest of the 2 days of this week? The trading week, at least for Thursday and Friday. Like, quite simply, you know, I'm expecting Bitcoin to at least stay positive for the rest of this week, just because we know that everything was kind of anticipated. We had excuse me, yesterday some really good news that also pushed prices higher. It kind of kept it stable, and now the final news that everyone was waiting on finally came out. We know interest rates are going to get cut, so now it's trying to understand and giving it some time, not making decisions right now, not making decisions this week, but trying to understand that, well, if expectations were met, everything was on par, there wasn't any overhype prior to like asset prices, trying to fill in a certain gap before announcements are made. So if we understand that, it's like, all right, so how I see it personally, and again, I'm not a professional, but we have progress being made towards inflation. We had Bitcoin fall briefly, causing some other stocks that are correlated with Bitcoin to fall. So if truly this news today was enough to keep bulls running, we can see a lot of these growth companies like MSTR, potentially Mara as well, and any other mining companies or companies are heavily influenced in Bitcoin. We can potentially see them go up just because they were highly, affected by the news today, with causing Bitcoin to fall, causing them to fall. So if this is positive news, more than we believe it is for growth companies, we should see them go up. But this is why it's very important to just let things play out, let things set up, so then we can understand what side of the price we really want to be on. So it's very important to wait. Right now, Bitcoin, it's at this little support right here. We'll see what happens soon, but I'm very bullish on it. I'm looking to potentially, if prices stay low, add more to my BitU position. Currently, I have 150 shares with them, so I want to add more to that. I'm just hoping that things kind of stay, relatively strong short term Bitcoin, like real short term, but very bullish on it. I believe that we are moving higher on Bitcoin. We're just having a little stabilizing, because if you guys look at my previous Bitcoin videos, like my Mara/Bitcoin videos and all that, you know that just recently, I believe it was sometime last week or whatever, like a few days ago, I said we're up here, we're trending, we bounced off of this 0.5 right here, and then we started moving higher. And I said I want to see prices consolidate, ideally in the discount half of the green fib area, making, or not just consolidate in this area down here, but also stay in that area. So to consolidate and not break below a 0.35. This means that there is still bullish momentum being built, and ideally we want to see that on the discounted half of this right here. So as long as we continue to see some consolidation in this area and not break below it, I am leaning very heavily, and I'm going to be appropriately adjusting myself for some short-term BTC-related trades as we start moving higher towards the 0.618, and then finally filling in the gap towards the previous swing high right here as we approach all-time highs, which is where this line is right here. But either way, and then brief overlook on Mara. I say this, and if you guys look at pretty much every video, I'm not going to repeat myself. You guys already know my accumulation strategy and then my confirmation level strategies, where I have 3 levels of confirmation that I look for. You guys can look at my last Mara video. I break it down. I'm not going to break it down again. You guys can check that out. But yeah, we're still in my accumulation area. So again, look at the last video and you guys will know what my approach is in this area right here. I'm not trying to make this video too long. I'm tired and honestly trying to go to sleep. But same with MSTR. Nothing changed from my last MSTR video. We've been consolidating quite a bit in the discounted areas. So this is very, very good, especially since Bitcoin. Oh, and if you guys are new to the channel, white candlesticks are like red, and then blue candlesticks are green. I just like to do white and blue because that's what my background is, and it's the colors I want to go with for the theme, at least for now. So yeah, we did fall. We didn't really break below support too much. Again, this is just a measurement tool. So my 0.35, we're still pretty much holding there. So we'll see how that goes for the next 2 trading days if we are going to hold this. But I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot. It is possible we can see prices coming down to this area, although it's extremely unlikely possible. I'm not counting on it. Let's move on to yeah. So let's just look at the Qs. We had a really nice how do you say drop where I'm not too concrete on this, but if you guys just draw a simple like trend line, as you can see from the majority of the lows, we know that right here we had a dip below this trend line, a dip below, and then we broke higher, and then a lot of times we actually respected like here, and then another quick dip, and then we broke above. So potentially, as we approach, like I'm assuming there's gonna be a lot of hype being built up. I'm not saying that we're gonna see a rally all the way up to the first rate cut, but I'm saying it's very likely that we see strong prices kind of popping up here and there as we approach the first did I say halving? No, I didn't mean halving. The first interest rate cut. As we approach the first interest rate cut, and then most likely, so it's going to be still a news event. We're going to get the first rate cut. We potentially may see like a quick pump right away, but I'm expecting prices are going to probably dip. It just depends what the setup looks before. But as of right now, a month, yeah, like a little over a month before the first rate cut's going to happen. Um, I'm expecting it's just going to have a little bit of a sell, like super short term, in my opinion. But I'm liking the current bullish trend line. I feel like this bullish momentum upward right here, it is not over. Especially, and you know, there's a lot of ways of looking at this. But if you guys were to just simply take the, see what it looks like actually. Uh, this overall swing low to the first swing high, come back down. We had like a brief break up into this area and break back down. This is not sustainable, so we want to see a sustained hold. And for me, I'm looking at bullish QQQs right here. To be honest, I'm looking at more higher prices coming up real soon. We'll see what the next 2 days look like, but definitely we're going to continue. We potentially, very likely, will even see new highs before the end of the year. It makes sense to me. I don't know. You guys tell me if it makes sense to you. Let's look at the S&P 500. S&P 500, real quick. Last thing we're going to look at. Uh, well, it's all the same. It's all kind of correlating about the same. We want to see a more sustained hold around all-time highs, and regardless, usually all-time highs are being met with a quick retest and a rejection. I don't think it's going to be that in this case. I really strongly believe that we're going to see further all-time highs being stretched out throughout the rest of this year. But we still can see a short-term correction on the S&P. And then start moving higher eventually. I want to see a more sustained hold, at least a retest. But because interest rates are coming up soon, and there's going to be a lot of you know, guys, I'm bullish on the S&P as well throughout the rest of this year. I believe that this rally still has more to go. So yeah, guys, that's just my opinion on my view on inflation, interest rates, you know, CPI, and then how CPI affects my view on interest rates. And if you guys look at the last Federal Reserve meeting, Jerome Powell, head of the Federal Reserve, did say that he was already looking to cut rates, but he wanted to wait a little bit more. We have comfort. We have CPI. We have some other stuff coming up soon. There's some more, some job reports coming out and jobless claims, something like that. I'm not sure the actual title term of these reports, but I know that depending on how many jobs are out there, how many people are trying to claim jobless, um, you know, it's going to have a very high impact on, of course, what he's going to say as well. But yeah, no, I'm very bullish on this. I'm looking at this in a positive way because we are finally, you know, heading towards the sunlight. I guess like the sun's finally coming up. I guess that's how you want. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Hope you enjoyed this video. I really appreciate it. Like and subscribe. I have a free Discord group down below. Everyone's welcome. If you like crypto, that's what the topic is. So if you like crypto, join our free Discord. It's in my website, link down below. Some social medias as well. I hope you guys have a great day or night wherever you're at, and I'll catch you guys soon. Quick thing, tomorrow I'm going to do a Bitcoin portfolio update. And I'm gonna try to do a second video and do a chart planning video as well. I really want to do a. We'll see. Just stay tuned. Stay tuned, guys. Catch you guys soon.